Hello and welcome to Yarn Fun. This is day 15 and I'm going to make this triangle. I've made my tryout one with a small hook and very thin yarn, so it turned out very small. But for this video I'm going to use a size 6 hook, 3.5 millimeters, and thicker yarn than what I used here. So let's start by making round 1. Well, we'll start with round 1, and I'm going to make this triangle all yellow, so I'm not going to change color. And you start by making a magic circle and put your hook in the circle and pull the thread through, that you have a loop on your hook, and then chain 2 and make a double crochet. Don't finish it, so yarn over once, pull your thread through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops and leave this one on your hook, and then another time, so yarn over in the magic circle, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and now you have 3 loops on your hook. The first is from your chain 2, the second is from your half made double crochet, and the third is from your second half made double crochet. And now yarn over and pull through 3 loops at the same time. And that is your first cluster of 3 double crochets. Then chain 3 and make another cluster of 3 double crochets in the same magic circle, and yarn over once, put your hook in the circle, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops and leave this loop on your hook. And then start your next one, so yarn over in the magic circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then make your third one, yarn over in the magic circle, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 2 loops, and now you have 3 half made double crochets on your hook. And this one is from the chain 3 in between the 2 clusters, so yarn over and pull through 4 loops at the same time, and that is your second made cluster of 3 double crochets. And in between each cluster you need to chain 3 and then make another cluster of 3 half double crochets. I'll half finish them, and then when you've made your 3, you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 4 loops at the same time, and that is the third one. And you need to make 6, and in between each cluster you need to make a chain of 3, so chain 3 and then make your 4th cluster, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then start the next one, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then start the next one, and then pull through 4 loops at the same time, and then chain 3 again, 1, 2, 3, and the last 2, so I'm going to speed up a little, yarn over through 4, don't forget your chain of 3 in between, and the last one, the last cluster of 3 double crochets. And this is my last cluster, because now I've made 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm closing my magic circle by pulling this thread and then chain 3 and attach this chain of 3 with a slip stitch in the top of your first made cluster, through and through. And that is round 1. And I'm not going to change my color, so I'm going to slip stitch into the next chain of 3 like this. And now I'm ready for round 2. And if you want to change your color, you cut your yarn and pull your thread through, and then tuck in your ends and begin in this same chain of 3 space. I've slip stitched into this chain of 3, and now I have to make a chain of 2, and next to that chain of 2 I'm making a half double crochet. So yarn over once, pull your thread under the chain of 3, and then yarn over and pull through 3 loops at the same time, and that is a half double crochet, and chain 2, and in the same chain of 3 space make 2 more half double crochets. So yarn over once, under the chain of 3 space, pull your thread through, and then through 3 loops at the same time, and another time, and that is number 4 actually. Now chain 3 and make a cluster of 3 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. So yarn over in the next chain 3 space, pull your hook in, pull your thread through, and then through 2 loops, and then the next one through 2 loops, and the next one. Now I have 4 loops on my hook, pull yarn over and pull my thread through 4 loops at the same time. Now I've made a cluster of 3 double crochets, and I have to chain 2 and make another cluster of 3 double crochets in the same chain of 3 space. So 1, 2, 3 through 4 loops, and that is my second cluster of 3 double crochets. Now chain 3, and in the next chain of 3 space I'm making 2 half double crochets. So yarn over and through 3 loops, yarn over, pull through, yarn over through 3 loops, 2 half double crochets, and then chain 2 and make another 2 half double crochets in the same space here. 1, 2, like this, and then chain 3, and in the next chain 3 space make a cluster of 3 double crochets, this is one cluster, chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets. Like this. Chain 3 again, and then in the next chain 3 space make 2 half double crochets, 2 half double crochets, chain 2 and another 2 half double crochets. Like this. And chain 3, and in the next chain 3 space make a cluster of 3 double crochets, is one cluster, chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets, and then chain 3, and I am where I began, so make a slip stitch in the top of your first made chain 2, 1, 2, so this is this stitch, and I finished round 2, and I want to stay crocheting with this yellow, so I'm going to slip stitch over to this chain 2 space in between the 4 half double crochets. So first slip stitch in your half double crochet and then slip stitch in the chain 2 space. And now I am ready for round 3, and if you want to change color, then you can cut your yarn and pull your thread through and then attach here in the same space your new color. So round 3, and I've slip stitched into this chain 2 space. I'm going to chain 1 and then make a single crochet in the same chain 2 space, and then chain 3 and make a cluster of 3 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. So I've already made a lot of clusters, so now you know how to do that. One cluster of 3 double crochets, and then chain 2 and make a single crochet in this chain 2 space, and then chain 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make another single crochet in that same chain 2 space between the two clusters of double crochets. So in this chain 2 space you have a single crochet, chain of 5 and another single crochet. Chain 2 and make a cluster of 3 double crochets in this next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3 and pull through, and then chain 3, 2, 3, and make a single crochet in this chain, the next chain 2 space in between the half double crochets. Chain 3 again, and make a cluster of 3 double crochets in the next chain 3 space. 1, 2, 3, chain 2, make a single crochet in the next chain 2 space, chain 5, and another single crochet in that same chain 2 space, and then chain 2 and make a cluster of double crochets in this next chain 3 space. Cluster of 3 double crochets. That's your cluster. And then chain 3, and in the next chain 2 space a single crochet and chain 3 again, and in this chain 3 space a cluster of 3 double crochets, and then chain 2 in this chain 2 space a single crochet, chain of 5 and a single crochet, and I've started here in this chain 2 space with my single crochet, so I need to make one more cluster in this chain of 3, but first chain 2 and then make your cluster in this chain of 3. So 1, 2, 3, and there is my almost cluster. Then chain 3 and attach this round to your first made single crochet with a slip stitch, and that is round 3, and you see the triangle beginning to take shape. Round 4, I'm going to stay crocheting in this color, so I have to make a slip stitch into this chain 3 space and then chain 1 and then make a single crochet. And if you want to change color, you have to make your first single crochet right there. And now chain 4 and make in this chain 5 space a cluster of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets, and now chain 3 and another cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets, and this is one of the edges of the triangle, and then chain 4 and hop over to the next chain space and make a single crochet, and then chain 3 and hop over to the next chain space and make a single crochet, chain 4 again, and then make in the chain 5 space here a cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets, and then chain 3 and another cluster of 3 double crochets, then chain 2 and another cluster of 3 double crochets, all in that same chain 5 space. And chain 4 again and hop over to this chain space, so skip this chain space and hop over to this chain space and make a single crochet and chain of 3, and then in the next chain space another single crochet, chain 4, and then in this chain of 5 space you make your cluster, so cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and another cluster of 3 double crochets, and then chain 3, 2, 3, and then another cluster of 3 double crochets, and then chain 2, and another cluster of 3 double crochets, and all in that same chain 5 space. So that is another corner, and then make a chain of 4, skip this chain space and make in this next chain space a single crochet. And you can see where you started here with your first single crochet, so you need to chain 3 and attach this with a slip stitch in your first single crochet, and I finished round 4. We'll start with chaining 1 and then make a single crochet on top of this single crochet. In this chain 4 space you make 5 single crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip this cluster and make in the next chain 2 space 3 single crochets. 2, 3, and in the next, skip this, and in the next chain space make 2 single crochets, chain 1 and 2 single crochets, and skip the cluster and make in this chain 2 space 3 single crochets, and skip this one and make in this chain 4 space 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 single crochet on top of your single crochet, 3 single crochets in the next chain of 3 space, 1 on top of your single crochet, and 5 in the next chain 4 space. Hop over to the next chain space and make 3 single crochets. Hop over to the next and make 2 single crochets, chain 1 and 2 single crochets, and in the next chain 2 space make 3 single crochets. In the next chain 4 space make 5 single crochets, and a single crochet on top of your single crochet, and then 3 in the next chain 3 space, and a single crochet on top of the single crochet, and then 5 in the next chain 4 space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then in the next chain of 2 space make 3 single crochets. In the next chain 3 space make 2 single crochets, chain 1 and 2 single crochets. In the next chain 2 space make 3 single crochets, in this chain 4 space make 5 single crochets, 3, 4, 5, and then on top of this single crochet make a single crochet, and in this chain 3 space make 3 single crochet, and close this round by making a slip stitch in your first made single crochet. And there you go. I'm gonna cut my yarn, pull my thread through and tuck in my ends. And then I've made this beautiful triangle. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I hope to see you again tomorrow for day 16.